Imagine discovering the secret to breaking free from the matrix, only to be silenced by those who control it. What if the key to unlocking your full potential lies in understanding why this knowledge was suppressed, and how it challenges the very nature of our reality? This isn't just another conspiracy theory. It's a quest for personal liberation, because remaining ignorant of the matrix means living a life unknowingly shaped by external forces. We are talking about reclaiming your autonomy, breaking free from pre-programmed responses, and building a life of genuine purpose. But what exactly is this matrix we speak of? It's not just a technological simulation from a science fiction film. It's a multi-layered system, a complex web woven from societal conditioning, psychological manipulation, and the deliberate control of information. These layers work in harmony to construct a perceived reality, one which may bear little resemblance to actual truth. Consider the modern obsession with climbing the corporate ladder, sacrificing personal time, and defining success through material possessions. How many blindly accept this path, never questioning whether it truly aligns with their values or contributes to their overall well-being? This unquestioned acceptance is a prime example of societal conditioning at play, a subtle but powerful force shaping our desires and limiting our possibilities. Throughout history, dissenting voices and unconventional ideas have been systematically marginalized or actively suppressed. Think of the countless scientists whose groundbreaking discoveries were dismissed or ridiculed, only to be later vindicated. Consider the political dissidents who risked everything to challenge oppressive regimes, often facing imprisonment, exile, or even death. Or the activists who tried to call out major societal or political issues, only to be dismissed as radicals or troublemakers. The silencing of the matrix exit discoverer, therefore, is not an isolated incident, but a chilling echo of a larger, more insidious pattern, a pattern of control that seeks to maintain the status quo at all costs. It begs the question, what transformative and world-shattering knowledge did they uncover? Our perception of reality isn't objective. It's filtered through a complex lens of beliefs, assumptions, and conditioning. From our earliest childhood experiences to the constant barrage of media messages, our minds are shaped by external influences. Imagine growing up in a culture where competition is fiercely encouraged and cooperation is seen as a sign of weakness. This upbringing will inevitably shape your worldview, leading you to perceive interactions as a zero-sum game, even when collaboration could yield far greater rewards. Conversely, someone raised in a collectivist society might prioritize group harmony over individual achievement, viewing the competitive spirit as disruptive and selfish. Both perspectives are valid, yet they highlight the subjective nature of reality and the profound impact of our environment on our perception. Later in the video, we'll explore specific tools and techniques for analyzing your own perceptions, allowing you to identify and challenge the filters that distort your view of the world. Remaining unaware of this matrix has profound consequences, ranging from unfulfilling lives to the perpetuation of societal problems. Conformity and blind acceptance of societal norms can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction, a gnawing feeling that something is missing. This breeds anxiety as we struggle to meet expectations that are not our own, and ultimately results in a sense of powerlessness, the belief that we are merely puppets in a game we do not understand. This collective sense of disempowerment contributes to broader social ills, political polarization, as individuals retreat into echo chambers of like-minded opinions, environmental degradation, as short-term economic gains are prioritized over long-term sustainability, and economic inequality, as systems of exploitation are perpetuated through ignorance and apathy. Exiting the matrix, on the other hand, offers the potential for increased awareness, personal freedom, and the ability to shape one's own reality. Awakening to the truth can lead to greater self-awareness, as we begin to understand the motivations behind our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It fosters emotional resilience, allowing us to navigate challenges with greater equanimity and to bounce back from setbacks with renewed determination. And ultimately, it cultivates a sense of purpose as we align our actions with our true values and aspirations, creating lives that are both meaningful and fulfilling. The core themes we'll be exploring are control, manipulation, and liberation. Understanding the psychological mechanisms behind manipulation is crucial, which is why we'll touch on cognitive biases, emotional appeals, and social pressure. These techniques are used every day to influence our thoughts and behaviors, often without us even realizing it. Before we dive deeper, let's briefly explore the philosophical and psychological concepts that underpin this matrix theory. Plato's allegory of the cave, for instance, vividly illustrates how our perceptions can be limited by the shadows we see on the wall, mistaking them for reality. René Descartes' evil demon thought experiment challenges the reliability of our senses, suggesting that an external force could be deceiving us about the true nature of the world. And the concept of solipsism takes this idea to its extreme, questioning whether anything exists outside of our own minds. While these concepts may seem abstract, they force us to confront our assumptions about reality and the fallibility of our perception. They are especially relevant in our modern world, where technology increasingly shapes our experiences and blurs the line between the real and the virtual. We will need to understand the basics before moving forward. So, how do we break free from the limitations of the matrix? What exit strategies can we employ to reclaim our autonomy and shape our own destinies? Mindfulness, critical thinking, and self-inquiry are key. Mindfulness allows us to become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, creating space between stimulus and response. Critical thinking equips us with the tools to analyze information objectively, identify biases, and challenge assumptions. And self-inquiry encourages us to question our beliefs, explore our values, and define our own sense of purpose. These strategies, which we'll discuss in practical detail later, can challenge our beliefs, question our assumptions, and expand our awareness. Throughout this video, we'll be exploring several key knowledge threads, including the nature of reality, the power of perception, and the potential for personal transformation. We will explore the role of beliefs in shaping our reality, the impact of societal conditioning on our thoughts and behaviors, and the potential for transcending limitations through self-awareness and conscious action. In essence, this journey will be a deep dive into the fundamental aspects of human existence and the potential for unlocking our full potential. We must know where we're going to know when we get there. Ultimately, this comes down to choosing between seeking truth and maintaining the status quo. Do we prioritize personal growth and authenticity, or do we prioritize conformity and external validation? Consider your own personal relationships. Are you drawn to people who challenge your perspectives and encourage you to grow, or do you prefer the comfort of those who simply reinforce your existing beliefs? Think about your professional endeavors. Do you seek out opportunities to learn and innovate, or do you settle for the security of routine and predictability? While there are potential benefits and drawbacks to each approach, finding a balance between individual expression and social harmony is key. But the first step is recognizing that a choice even exists. But what specific methods did this silenced individual discover to exit the matrix? And why were those methods deemed so threatening? Did their research challenge established scientific or philosophical paradigms? Did they stumble upon a truth that those in power desperately wanted to keep hidden? The possibility exists that the methods involved unconventional approaches to reality, techniques that challenged the very foundations of our understanding. What if their discoveries hold the key to unlocking our full potential as human beings, granting us access to increased creativity, heightened intuition, and even psychic abilities? Perhaps anomalies, coincidences, and unexplained phenomena aren't just random occurrences, but glimpses behind the curtain, subtle reminders that our reality is not as fixed as we believe. Déjà vu, those unsettling moments of feeling like we've experienced something before, synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too significant to be random, and the Mandela effect, the collective misremembering of facts, are these simply glitches in the matrix, cracks in the code that reveal a deeper, more complex reality. In the sections that follow, we will reveal the specific techniques used by the silenced individual to exit the matrix, exploring the reasons why these techniques were suppressed and the implications for our own lives. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew and to embark on a journey of self-discovery that could change your life forever. Are you ready to see the world as it truly is? To truly grasp the extent of the matrix, we must peel back its layers, revealing the intricate mechanisms at play. It's not enough to simply acknowledge its existence. We need to understand how it operates to effectively dismantle its control. The first layer, societal programming, is perhaps the most pervasive. Consider how news outlets frame stories, often emphasizing sensationalism over substance. This can shape public opinion by subtly influencing our emotional responses. For example, a news report focusing on a violent crime in a specific neighborhood, repeated frequently, can instill a sense of fear and distrust, even if statistically that neighborhood is relatively safe. Advertising operates similarly, preying on our insecurities to drive consumption. Commercials often depict idealized lifestyles, suggesting that buying a particular product will make us happier, more attractive, or more successful. This constant barrage of imagery creates artificial needs and fuels a cycle of dissatisfaction. And what about education? Standardized testing, while seemingly objective, often prioritizes rote memorization over critical thinking, rewarding conformity and discouraging independent thought. Students are taught what to think, not how to think, which can stifle creativity and limit their ability to question authority. These modern examples of information control echo historical instances of propaganda and censorship, from the deliberate manipulation of information during wartime to the suppression of scientific discoveries that threatened established religious or political doctrines, revealing a recurring pattern of power structures seeking to maintain their dominance by controlling the narrative. Beneath the surface of societal programming lies a deeper layer, psychological manipulation. This involves exploiting our cognitive biases and emotional vulnerabilities to maintain control. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts that can lead to irrational decisions. Confirmation bias, for instance, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. Social media algorithms exploit this bias by creating echo chambers, reinforcing our views and limiting our exposure to diverse perspectives. If you believe in a particular political ideology, you're more likely to see content that supports that ideology, further solidifying your beliefs and making you less receptive to opposing viewpoints. Emotional manipulation, on the other hand, involves using fear, guilt, or other emotions to influence our behavior. Marketing campaigns often use fear to sell products, such as security systems that protect us from imagined threats or anti-aging creams that promise to restore our youth. By tapping into our deepest insecurities, these campaigns bypass our rational minds and trigger impulsive purchases. These psychological vulnerabilities are leveraged to keep individuals trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and dependence. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we are not good enough, that we need to buy something or do something to be happy, creating a perpetual state of lack and preventing us from finding true fulfillment. Ultimately, these mechanisms contribute to the illusion of choice, the false belief that we are in control of our own destinies. Consider the layout of supermarkets and online shopping platforms, carefully designed to encourage impulse purchases. Products are strategically placed to maximize exposure, and persuasive techniques, such as discounts and limit-time offers, are used to lure us into buying things we don't need. Political candidates use targeted advertising to sway voters based on their psychological profiles, tailoring their messages to appeal to specific demographics and exploit their fears or desires. Even our most deeply held beliefs may be the result of subtle manipulation, shaped by the constant influence of external forces. If we are not aware of these influences, we risk living our lives on autopilot, blindly following a path that has been predetermined for us. These layers work together, creating a self-reinforcing system of control. It's not a single entity at fault, but a combination of social, psychological, and economic forces that create this illusion. This understanding is essential before we can explore tools for breaking free. So, how do we begin to dismantle this complex system and reclaim our autonomy? Fortunately, several powerful exit strategies are at our disposal. First, mindfulness and self-awareness can provide a way to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating space for conscious choice. This involves cultivating a present-moment awareness, paying attention to our internal experiences without getting carried away by them. A basic mindfulness exercise involves sitting comfortably, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. As thoughts and emotions arise, simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently redirect your attention back to your breath. Practicing this regularly can help you become more aware of your thought patterns and emotional responses, allowing you to identify triggers and make more conscious choices. This can lead to the liberating feeling of realizing that we are not our thoughts, but rather the awareness that observes them, creating distance between our reactions and our true selves. Next, critical thinking and media literacy are essential for navigating the complex information landscape and questioning information, identifying biases, and seeking diverse perspectives. When reading a news article or social media post, consider the source, evaluate the evidence, and consider alternative viewpoints. Is the source reputable and unbiased? Is the evidence based on facts or opinions? Are there other perspectives that are not being represented? Developing these skills can help you become a more discerning consumer of information and resist the influence of propaganda and misinformation. In a future video, we'll delve deeper into specific critical thinking techniques. Finally, self-inquiry and challenging beliefs can enable you to examine your deeply held beliefs and assumptions, questioning their validity and origins. This involves asking yourself probing questions about your beliefs, such as, where did this belief come from? Is it based on my own experience or on something I was told? Is it serving me or is it limiting me? The Socratic method, a form of inquiry that involves asking a series of questions to stimulate critical thinking and illuminate underlying presumptions, is useful here. This process can lead to cognitive dissonance, a state of mental discomfort that arises when our beliefs are challenged. This discomfort can be a powerful catalyst for change, prompting us to reevaluate our beliefs and adopt new perspectives. These tools are most effective when used in combination. Mindfulness can enhance critical thinking by allowing us to observe our biases and assumptions more clearly. Critical thinking can inform self-inquiry by helping us to identify the beliefs that are most limiting us. The interconnectedness is clear, but if these tools are so effective, why aren't more people using them? This brings us to the question of silencing. Why was the Matrix exit, Discoverer's methods were deemed so threatening? Why is the truth so feared? The potential for widespread awakening could disrupt established power structures. Large corporations, political organizations, and religious institutions benefit from maintaining control over information and shaping public opinion. They rely on our conformity and dependence to maintain their power and wealth. Think of whistleblowers who expose corporate misconduct, often facing retaliation, blacklisting, and even legal action. Consider activists who challenge government policies, often being labeled as traitors or subversives. These examples demonstrate that the forces maintaining the Matrix are actively working to suppress dissenting voices and unconventional ideas. They cannot allow people to think for themselves and act in their own best interest. What psychological reasons might explain why individuals resist the truth? Cognitive dissonance is a key factor. When confronted with information that contradicts our deeply held beliefs, we experience mental discomfort. To reduce this discomfort, we may reject the new information, rationalize our existing beliefs, or seek out information that confirms them. Fear of change is another factor. Stepping outside of our comfort zone and questioning our assumptions can be scary. We may cling to our beliefs even in the face of contradictory evidence, due to a fear of uncertainty or a desire to maintain our sense of identity. Also, the desire for security and belonging can make individuals resistant to the truth. We are social creatures, and we want to be accepted by our peers. Challenging established beliefs can lead to social isolation and rejection, which can be difficult to bear. This resistance ties back to societal conditioning and psychological manipulation, highlighting a recurring pattern of self-preservation. Despite these challenges, the potential for transformative change that comes with collective awakening is immense. When individuals become more conscious and aware, they are more likely to challenge injustice, demand accountability, and create a more equitable society. We have seen it happen time and time again. The civil rights movement, the women's suffrage movement, and the environmental movement are all examples of social movements that have successfully challenged established power structures and brought about positive change. And perhaps the silenced individual's discoveries could spark a global awakening. The silencing of the Matrix exit discoverer is inextricably linked to the broader themes of control, manipulation, and liberation, reinforcing the importance of seeking truth and challenging the status quo. It's not enough to simply be aware of the Matrix. We must actively work to dismantle it, creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a more conscious, authentic, and fulfilling life. But what if their methods were not permanently silenced? What if they left a trail of breadcrumbs for us to follow? So, how did this individual, the one they silenced, manage to threaten the very fabric of the Matrix? What knowledge did they possess that was so dangerous? It wasn't about discovering some hidden code or secret technology. Instead, it was likely a synthesis of the tools we've discussed, applied with an unwavering commitment to truth. Imagine someone deeply questioning the narratives surrounding health and wellness, recognizing the limitations of conventional medicine, and then actively exploring alternative healing modalities like energy work, plant-based medicine, or ancient practices. Then, rather than simply accepting these alternatives passively, they critically analyze them, discerning what resonates with their inner truth and discarding what doesn't. Finally, they embody this truth by living a life congruent with their values, perhaps by starting a community garden, sharing their knowledge with others, or simply prioritizing their well-being above societal expectations. This synthesis, the combination of mindfulness, critical thinking, self-inquiry, and authentic action, is what truly threatens the Matrix. The Matrix, in its multi-layered form of societal programming, psychological manipulation, and the illusion of choice, is countered when we see the whole picture. Mindfulness allows us to recognize the societal programming that subtly dictates our desires and behaviors, like the constant bombardment of advertisements that create artificial needs. Critical thinking enables us to deconstruct these narratives, dissecting the hidden agendas and biases that shape our perceptions. Self-inquiry empowers us to redefine ourselves outside the parameters of these external influences, tapping into our innate creativity and intuition to discover our authentic selves. And then, mindfulness returns, integrating this redefined self into a new worldview, allowing us to navigate the world with greater clarity and purpose. It's a continuous cycle of awareness, deconstruction, redefinition, and integration, a spiral staircase leading to ever greater levels of freedom. The core truth is this: the Matrix is not just an external system of control, but a reflection of our internal limitations. The true prison isn't the world around us, but our belief in our own powerlessness. The individual wasn't silenced for what they knew, but for how they lived. They stepped outside the consent-based system, demonstrating that the matrix only has power over those who believe in its authority. Imagine facing resistance for speaking your truth about the importance of sustainable living. Perhaps you're ridiculed for your lifestyle choices or dismissed as an idealist. Mindfulness helps you to observe these reactions without getting emotionally entangled, allowing you to respond with compassion and clarity rather than defensiveness. Critical thinking allows you to deconstruct the arguments against sustainable living, exposing the flaws in the logic and the vested interests that perpetuate unsustainable practices. Self-inquiry guides you to reaffirm your commitment to your values and to find creative solutions to the challenges you face. This individual's story, and now your journey, exists within a broader context of awakened individuals throughout history who have challenged the status quo and faced suppression. From Galileo, who was persecuted for his scientific discoveries, to Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated for his advocacy of civil rights, the pattern is clear. Those who dare to question established power structures often face resistance. But the arc of history shows that silencing is never a true defeat. The voices of the suppressed echo through time, inspiring future generations to continue the fight for truth and justice. Their fate serves as a reminder of the importance of courage, resilience, and community in the face of adversity. It reminds us of the whistleblowers, the activists, and the countless unsung heroes who have risked everything to challenge accepted narratives. Their stories are a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. This cycle of awakening and suppression is a catalyst. Widespread awakening holds profound implications for the future. As more individuals awaken to their true potential, the possibility of positive social and political transformation becomes not just a dream, but an achievable reality. A critical mass of awakened individuals can create a more conscious, equitable, and sustainable world. We can shift from a society based on competition and consumption to one based on collaboration and compassion. The awakening isn't about escaping from the world, but transforming it through conscious action, through everyday acts of kindness, creativity, and resistance. Therefore, the silence story can now fuel your awakening. Remember, the Matrix is, in essence, a collective agreement, a shared belief system that shapes our reality. That agreement only has the power you give it. Suppression is a natural response to challenging the status quo, a predictable reaction from those who benefit from maintaining control. What matters most is responding with continued commitment to truth and authenticity despite outside resistance. The power to exit the matrix always resided within you, in your capacity for awareness, critical thinking, and self-discovery. The tools have been provided. The responsibility to use them now rests with you. Who was this silenced individual? They weren't a single person, but an archetype, a stand-in for anyone who has ever sought truth and been punished for it, a symbol of the collective human potential that has been suppressed throughout history. This video has unlocked the basics, but the journey has only just begun. What specific practices are best for maintaining awareness in a distracting world? How can communities of awakened individuals be formed to support each other on this path? What is the role of intuition and creativity in navigating reality? How does quantum physics relate to the nature of consciousness? These are just a few of the questions we will explore in future videos. Now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. What specific insights resonated with you? What specific actions are you inspired to take? Share your thoughts in the comments below and share this video with others who are ready to awaken. Subscribe for more content and join our community of truth seekers. By committing to these strategies, you can continue to unlock your full potential and shape your reality in ways you never thought possible. Always remember, you are more powerful than you know. You are the architect of your reality, the master of your destiny.